There we go.
All right.
And we are back yet again. Hi guys, how's it going?
Trekyards back again.
Back again.
Talking Trek with a friend.
Wow, that's great. I love it. We gotta do a whole song now like that. It's good.
It with the
Good
puppets. Trekyards back.
Trekyards
Trekyards back.
Music video time.
I want. Oh. And considering I have all the green screen backgrounds,
Yeah.
you can sit on. Oh. Oh no, that's such a good bad idea. Fuck.
Oh, it's a great idea.
Oh no, the Trekyards web series. Oh, we could do our idea, but with our stop motion, with our animated selves.
Oh yeah, you just see the like doing the thriller moves. There you go.
I mean, I'd rather not do that, but just tell the story rather than an emotion comic. Just be puppets.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, what was your is it? It's not wife's mother, is it?
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh yeah. I mean, how many could you make the entire cast? How long take the entire cast?
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Welcome back, guys.
Yes.
So yeah, we got a few things to talk about today. Just before we went live, we got the release schedule for all the new Trek. We're gonna have 4 weeks of overlap with 2 Treks on the same day.
We sometimes get breaking news. It's not normally like 15 minutes before we go live. You cannot get more breaking.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about that a little bit before we start the conversation about Prodigy. So.
Yeah, well, Let's Impure factor in. We'll talk about that. I'll show the Trek Core article because those guys are fantastic. Yeah, Trek Core, we go through it, have our thoughts. And it is still vaguely in keeping with the idea because we're getting lots of modern Trek. So happen to be discussing this one as well. I'll start sharing and I'll see you in a minute.
Yeah. Smash rockets. Thoughts and prayers for Trekyards. Thoughts and prayers. Yes, we're going to be busy. Episode of Trekyards and Disco on the same day, including the season finale. And then the season finale of Picard is the fucking exact same day as Strange New Worlds is coming out. So, yay for us. That's excitement. Yay. Anyway, guys, hit that like button. Don't forget to comment with the super chat. There's that first super chat strike is available if anybody wants to scoop that up. But let us know your thoughts about what we're going to be talking about via super chat. It's a great way to show us that you love us and you want to keep us making the content. So if you can, please do. And yeah, you can also help us by joining the channel. There's a join button there, which is like a monthly subscription service. Basically, pay at the beginning of the month, and $5, whatever. It all adds up and helps. So please do so. Also subscribe, notify, all that stuff. The routine. Also have links down below for Eaglemoss affiliate links and things like that. Click those, get some stuff. Use the Trekyards discount code, and don't forget to also check out the TeePublic and Teespring store. Lots of great shirts and Trekyards merchandise available there. So yeah. I should. Okay, we'll be fine. Anyway, the first super chat strike. I'll read that as soon as Samuel gets back. And huh? What do you mean, huh? Mark, I don't know what you're talking about, man. But yeah, hit that like button as well. It's another great way to help us out, and it's easy to do. It's free. You don't have to worry about that. So if you want to help us in any way, any little bit helps. But hitting that like button is important. We have 30 people here right now with 31 likes, which is awesome. I'm still going to aim for 50, though. So hit that button. Let's get up to 50 to start off with. And yeah, I'm waiting for Samuel. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, Mark is just messing around. Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll address your thoughts in a second here, guys. But yeah, we'll pull up the schedule. We'll show you guys, because yeah, the last where Prodigy plays out, then we get Discovery. Where is it here? is. So yeah, the last episode of Prodigy. Well, yeah. So February 3rd is the last part of the first half of Prodigy. It's weird, man. The schedule is weird because they just say Prodigy season 1.5, 10 episodes later in 2022. So the last 10 episodes of the series is going to be later in the year. They don't know when.
Talk about them getting the short end of the stick in terms of continuity of people enjoying a show. Every other show after this point will get 10, 10, 10, 10. This one gets 4, 5, 5. Why? But in fairness, them giving 29 more weeks to finish season 1 means there'll be a long way through season 2.
Yeah.
Which is just like, you can imagine the crunch they're feeling when I'm trying to get those last 3 finished, and then, oh yeah, we've got 4.5 months. What?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're on hiatus for 4.5 months. Oh, okay.
Well, Smash Rocket is sending thoughts and prayers for Trekyards. Thoughts and prayers. Because we're going to be so busy.
Yeah, I didn't know the context of that, but now you've said it in that way. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and you know, I think we've both discussed this, but I still haven't got into the mindset this is truly weekly. I'm still waiting for that pause, like we have a Picard, and then like that was a nice natural middle. Mm-hmm. I'm just sort of living each week, but there's literally no in between. This is not. That's gone. You can't.
That's a thing of the past, my friend.
Yeah, you can't expect not to be live with me on Friday or sometimes Thursday to review an episode of Star Trek.
I know.
That's
I have to see him every week now, guys. What the hell?
Oh, you always saw me every week anyway. I don't think there was a week we didn't. I think one Christmas season we were just like, yeah, we're just gonna do real life. Pretty much apart from that, yeah.
I mean, there was one summer where we kind of took like a month, kind of, because we had a lot of stuff in the buffer.
We backlogged the shit out of it, yeah.
Like a month and a half almost of like nothing to do really.
Because that was almost before the lives, so you weren't just jumping on.
Oh, that was definitely before the lives, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Hi, Stuart.
Hi. Got some super chats. The first super chat strike is Olivia with $5.
Hey.
Thank you. Today I learned if you turn a canoe over, you can wear it as a hat because it's capsized. Yesterday I found out a toboggan is a hat. Hit like, yeah. On yesterday's live last night, somebody it was Shannon. I forget her last name now, but Shannon. She said toboggan hat. Toboggan hat. Never heard of that. Toboggan is a sled, right? But apparently in the South, they're a toque or a cap or a beanie, whatever you want to call it. It's also called a toboggan hat because you use it when you're tobogganing. Never have heard that. Most people hadn't. But Fleetpaw, who's from the South, had heard of that, of course. So, yeah, interesting.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of those things where there's so much cultural place.
It's slang almost. If you want toboggan, take your toboggan cap.
It's well, it's always actually amazing how we can speak almost the same language. Think about how many cultural things are different in our lives, actually, but we can still have almost entirely unified, whatever. It's kind of amazing, actually. Well, I was talking to I had an interview, as I was like, wow, I had a first get to know you chat with an English YouTuber today to do a Trek short based thing, and first thing she said on the Skype, finally got a meeting with her, be right back, just getting a tea, and I said, oh, I know I'm talking to a British person. It's like I say rarely talk to British people based on this job, so it's like. And of course you got tea. I just found that really amusing.
Yeah, because that's funny. That's how the chat started last night. We're talking about differences between British and American words and even spellings. Because in Canada, you can spell color and favorite, whatever, with a U in it, or not. Because there's a British way, and then there's the American way, and we kind of adopt both. So that's how it started, and we started bringing up different examples of things, and it's just kind of funny. Anyway.
There you go. Regardless. Although obviously, it's the original way and the derivation.
True. Yes. The right way and everyone else's way.
I mean, who thought of not potato? Who thought of tomatoes? This wasn't tomatoes. Even though we came from a place where they call tomatoes, let's call them tomatoes. It's like, right, well, did some guys not know how to say it? Did someone I think maybe someone just read it and then started calling it tomatoes. Probably. And then his town was like, oh, this is a great tomato, Anyway.
And then that's where the saying tomato came from, because it doesn't matter, people say it different ways all the time, and yeah, it's like.
And that guy moved, brought tomatoes to his town, and it. Oh my goodness.
Mark Lawrence, $10, and says, "Huh?" And then he says, "Just messing around." So I don't know what that means necessarily, Mark, but yeah.
I think didn't have a thing to say. Yeah, I mean,
but $10 super chat's great, so thank you.
It is,
super chat, guys.
As I'm sure said, we certainly rely on these, as you guys know, any fives. And we'd love to hear your thoughts about all the new seasons, because fives do mount up pretty quickly, actually. So if we can get 10 more fives, etc., is important. I don't know. Briefly ask you, what do you think of the thumbnail I made for today?
Yeah. I first saw it and I'm like, I'm not sure this is the best representation of it, but then I thought, spoilers a bit, but the new bookcased by the old familiar, so it's fine.
Because my logic was, I liked the awe-inspiringness of the middle shot, although it didn't quite represent fully the scene, but I don't want to do a long shot. Jane Williams so faithful, and then that's the first time we've seen a classic Ferengi in 25 years.
Yeah.
At least not in very 2D. So I thought that's a nice it's doing everything right here, because you can't see the Prodigy badge. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, cool.
But I'll bring up the Trek Core article. Let me.
Oh yes, please do.
That's definitely a thing to discuss.
Well,
as you say, or at least
yes, please to send thoughts and prayers by all means.
But we do love analysing. It just would have been nice to have had a 2-month break at one point.
Even a week would be nice.
Well, because the doubling is hard. That's going to be, because the thing is,
like you said, we have a season finale in there, and we got the season finale of Picard and the premiere of Strange New Worlds on the same day. That week we're going to have to compartmentalize our reviews to not be the same day. They're going to be a couple days worth of
because you guys know season finales are huge, and then Drunkyard's retrospectives. But will we have time to fully rewatch Picard in the same, and have a drunk retrospective in the same week we're having a season 1 season? Oh my god, it's not CBS. It's not fair. You're spending too many tens of millions on new Star Trek for us to review. It's not fair.
Yes, first world problem. Jesus Christ.
Well,
we can always hold off those retrospective reviews till the summer when there is a break. Hopefully, the last thing is coming later in 2022. We're gonna get news in 2 months. Prodigy starts right after this.
I'd be shocked if they actually. I think they've got all the stuff lined up for the rest of the year. They just don't want to commit right now because it might move. I would be shocked.
They already changed Picard, because the trailer for it said coming mid-February or February 15th or something, and now it's beginning of March. So
I don't know why it would, given the fact that other shows are either ready or not. What's the? I
don't know. Unless they're, I don't know. I hope the rest of the world can see stuff at the same time. That's the other thing. I hope that's just sorted out.
They had such a blowback from Discovery, but obviously that Prodigy still didn't solve that. We're very blessed to see it, but.
Yeah.
So yes, all thanks to Trek Core, who as always have done excellent reporting. So yeah. Let's see. So you got last 3 episodes of Prodigy. And then it starts 25 weeks with a 29 episode run of non-stop Trek until July.
Wow.
25 weeks and 29 episodes. Guys, I'm gonna do a stupid poll, but it's gonna be fun.
Squadron course puts in $2. Just do a double Trekyards equals 2 drinks per super chat. Oh, Jesus Christ! No. We would like to live. Sebastian, aka Space Daddy, says SNW ? Yeah, Strange New World. But yeah, I mean, what do you guys think of this? Put it in the chat what you guys think about the schedule. I mean, a lot of people are going to be happy because there's weekly Trek, but it means also weekly Trekyards you guys have to watch as well. Just saying. So.
And so I did a poll. Oh god, and it's Jericho. Yeah, and Orville in March.
Oh, and Orville in March too. Oh, for fuck. Oh well.
Do you remember we used to be explorers?
Oh Jesus, that's a great line. I remember when we used to be explorers. Yeah.
That's so apt.
Now we're at war every week.
We are. A war with too much content. Well, that said
Well,
though, Discovery season 4
fighting
not.
Alex Kurtzman is a full-time job.
Although he's only show running. He's only in charge of a couple of these. So in fairness.
Yes, I know this is true.
Anyway, so I did a brief little poll. It's more of a jokey one. Put in your votes. Are you going to join us for all 25 weeks of NuTrek reviews? Yes, we'll be there for every review. Some reviews when I can make it. Only Picard and Strange New Worlds. I would have done more categories, but you can't. So.
Yes. Can do 4 choices on these polls.
Yeah.
So Donnie doesn't show up. Oh, there he is. It's just as I said it too. He shows up. Donnie, don't complain about the poll options. We've got what we have.
There should be a poll. There should be an additional one at some point saying Donnie doesn't like this poll, and then Donnie votes for it. Okay, so it's going back for 6 episodes, ending in March, and I guess, yeah, okay, and it is getting season 5, which is good news.
Yes, season 5 was announced as well. Yeah.
And considering they've only had 6, that's a pretty. There's confidence in them because obviously that's. But I do think they're doing multiple season arcs. I think I said it to you early on. They're probably pitched a 2-season arc, and it's going to have 10 episodes to match the other ones. That's worth noting. Which makes it 3 episodes cheaper, which is much cheaper in the grand scheme of things, because they're far more expensive than Prodigy and Lower Decks. Yeah,
March looks like it's going to be like Star Trek month because you got the last 3 episodes of Discovery and the first 3 episodes of Picard on the same. I would assume the same day. I'm supposed they're coming out. I would assume they're coming out on Thursdays.
I don't know why they would do them the same day though.
It would be better. It would be good to stagger them a day. I don't think they're going to do that necessarily, but.
Because then, like, which one comes out first? If you've got a prime time slot. You'd like to think one be Wednesday, one be Thursday.
You would think that, yeah.
But then if one's Friday, that's really difficult for us then. I mean, it's all difficult for us, but...
Yeah, it's all difficult. Oh, well. We'll be here with you guys through all that. Don't worry.
Wouldn't it be great if we go back in time right now and go back to Discovery Season 1, review us, starting the whole live process and be like, young you, yes, old us, God, he looks shit. Hey! 3 years ago, 3 years in the future. How many shows do you want to see of a year of Star Trek? Well, 1 would be great, just 1 a year. You're getting 5.
Yeah, guess what?
And they're all different.
Yeah.
But it means Discovery's now officially going. Well, it means they haven't been cancelled for the 5th time in a row. Says those that, I don't know if they can run that story anymore because it keeps being renewed. But they've now officially beaten Enterprise.
Yeah.
But it'd be sad if they did get to 7 seasons. It means they'll match all the big ones. Unless they earn it. I mean, you never know. Maybe it gets even better.
Yeah. Well, I'm just bummed about May 5th, honestly, because...
Which one's May 5th?
That's Picard, last season episode of Picard, and then the first episode of Strange New Worlds. Because with 2 seasons of Picard planned and filming back-to-back, you would assume that there's going to be a massive cliffhanger. There's going to be a lot to talk about for the finale. And then, of course, Strange New Worlds, the one that everybody's been looking forward to. Oh, my God. Anyway, I guess we can't complain. It's one of those things that never rains, but it pours. So,
Yeah, and it does also speak to them having literally more than a year's worth of content, more than 50 shows a year. So they have to, because they don't want to keep stuff back. It doesn't benefit them. That's the only reason I have that many double booked ones, because why not just wait 1 week and it gets more press. I mean, it's cool to have 2 at the same time, in a sense of like, ooh, marketing, but to have both of your, in theory, most anticipated shows. It is kind of like having Best of Both Worlds and Emissary on the same day.
Yeah.
It's like, God damn, this is a thing.
Well, when you put it like that, yeah, absolutely. And a new series as well. So yeah, we would have had a lot to talk about on the first episode of DS9 when it came out. So this will be the same thing with Strange New Worlds. We're going to have a ton to break down. And
Too much, honestly. There's only so many hours in the day, sort of time.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing, Stranger Worlds. I mean, now the good thing is about this, they are going to have a trailer, and we can do a lot of our first reactions for the costume or for the props and stuff then. So that's really good, because normally like we would do 7 or 8 just based on each individual piece. But if that's in the trailer, that'll help us certainly pull some of the stuff out.
Yeah.
So that means Stranger Worlds has got to have a trailer soon then. Only 3 months. There's been literally nothing shown.
We've been saying that for a while, though. Look, this will be when the trailer is. This will be when the trailer is. San Diego Comic-Con. Like, yeah, they're really subverting our expectations with that one, for sure.
And it can't be because they know people are going to be disappointed in the art design, so they're holding off. That seems unlikely to me.
No, I think they're super proud of this. Going to be super proud of this show.
Well, if they were, they'd be showing it more. Like, not giving
Don't say things like that. Worries me. I don't know, man.
I can imagine, though, they really want to... Because normally, as you've said a lot of time, the trailer's based on very limited early content. But surely they must be almost finished the season. Editing and CGI. They've been in production more...
I was going to say, they stopped filming like 2 months ago,
More
right?
than that, yeah. Yeah, for sure. They also had Christmas.
Tweeted that, yeah.
Yeah, so they've could, would... I'm not saying the whole show's finished, but they should have a large percentage of it finished. Or at least finishable state to be in a trailer, so it should be a very, very good trailer. If you don't like almost like a full feature length trailer in terms of like, well, we have the entire film to pick from rather than first 3 episodes, etc. So I can imagine maybe there'll be some gimmick on it of Pike saying, you know, right, finally back to exploration, Strange New Worlds, and there's a super cut of like 10 planets. It's like, shit, we actually have 10 planets. Yeah.
Stanley's probably has a good point there, though. Paramount Plus being launched worldwide in a few months, they'll need a hook of a lot more, so much more Star Trek. That makes sense. That really does.
Now that's interesting. When is that coming out?
I'm not sure.
You're right. Let's all look at that.
Let's do it together. You will give us great reviews, like always. We will. Oh, I'm gonna be so sick of seeing Samuel. I mean, what? Did I say that out loud? Shit. I didn't, did I? Okay, good. I just thought that. Phew.
I don't know what to say about that. It's still early 2022, which is weird. We've got a firm date.
Look at our poll. Picard has 0%.
That's rare. That is a rare 0. Ooh. Ooh, that's embarrassing. Wow.
I know it is.
Although the fact that most of them are going to yes everything, that's a lovely statement. So guys, vote on that poll, because if 56 of you come to almost every week,
yeah. Casual Trekker $5. Maybe they don't want to take any steam out of the 3 other shows they are going on.
But that says that's for any of them. It means no one can have a trailer for any show.
Yeah.
But that's not how you do marketing, because trailers are what go viral. For non-Trek fans, like we're all going to be watching it, but you need international distribution trailers that will grab people on TV screens. Trailers are really, really important, not just for those that dissect stuff, just for the random people to put on YouTube ads, etc. You know, that's so important. So they need them, unless literally the Trek audience, which they were, for season 1, it was very much we're not going to make Trek for Trek fans because we need people to watch it, but. Are they now saying that there are enough Trek fans to support 5 Trek shows? Because if Trek fans are the majority watching these shows, surely it's them saying there's a big enough audience to watch these shows. Because they're not going to get 2 million, 10 million new people just who don't know Star Trek to watch Stranger Worlds. That's so steeped in mythology. Or who's watched Picard season 2 except Trek fans? No one. So how can you afford to make 5 shows if not to, you know what I mean? So actually they must have just fucked up Discovery so bad, because we must be a big enough worldwide audience to be good enough to support this many shows. Because Paramount Plus money is paying for it, which fans are subscribing to, at least in the UK, US.
And supporting what you just said, this Jericho says the Moon Knight trailer already has 11 million views, and it was released yesterday? Yeah.
Well, God, the Spider-Man Far From Home, it was at like 20 million that day. I've never seen anything like it. It was a fucking great trailer, though. It was really, really good trailer. Yeah, what do you think of the Moon Knight trailer?
I'm looking forward to it. I never really was a fan of the comic book character. Don't know anything about him really, but I like Oscar Isaacs, so
Doing
I'm
English
looking
accent,
forward to it.
which is
I'm
weird.
looking forward to it. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never
You
heard.
like it?
I've never heard of Moon Knight, so I'm fresh.
Oh,
The costume's great,
yeah.
although it's one of those ones where you can't tell it's him, so it's a stunt double for the entire thing, which is fine. It was super confusing. I mean, it was very disjointed, I know on purpose, but I didn't really get a sense of what it is. I didn't even know it was a TV show until it said streaming episodes.
Streaming. Yeah,
it looked like a movie,
I thought it was a movie too.
It looked like a guy that can go and that maybe fights in his dreams. I don't know. It was very unclear. It looked like one of the least interesting shows in terms of I know what the hell's happening. Like a Loki show's like, I get that.
Yeah.
But I'm sure I'll watch it because I'm interested. But I don't know how it fits into any of the MCU stuff. But I mean, they can't be doing 12 shows and have them not all fit because they're crazy. That's crazy.
I am MEC throws in $10. So
Thank you.
I think Prodigy is going to go a long way in getting new viewers for the other shows. Yeah, I've been saying that too. It's like a gateway show almost. It's a nice, gentle like introduction to a lot of things in Trek. So, yeah.
And it's interesting because Prodigy is doing really, really well, and I can imagine that people who their families are watching, because if it's every week on Thursday, right, at the same time, then families are used to tuning in every week for a Trek show. So I can imagine Prodigy fans, the kids might say, "Oh, is there new Trek next week?" "No, little Timmy, but there is Discovery Season 4 Part 2. Okay. So that one's not quite...
Why is that lady always crying? And why is it so mean? Everybody's so mean. I never want to watch Trek again. That's a great idea.
So it made more sense for Prodigy to go next to Strange New Worlds in terms of like fresh fans. Because if you didn't watch Discovery Season 4 Part 1, you're not going to watch Discovery Season 4 Part 2. So it doesn't necessarily equate. But that's the thing. Once we get into Season 4 of... Which is, I'll go down to that. Season 4 of Lower Decks, guys.
Yep.
That's epic. We love Mike.
Season
obviously.
4. Didn't we just watch Season 2? Isn't Season 3 on the way?
That's what I'm saying. They renewed for Season 4.
Oh,
that's
yeah, they did. Yeah.
Which is
okay.
Literally in making Season 3, and they've got Season 4. That is brand confidence.
That is amazing.
But it's their cheapest show.
Yeah.
And it's the easiest show to make in terms of like pandemic stuff because it's less people, less time. But that means Mike can actually keep his Packwood story going, like string us along for another year, which is great. No, that I'm happy about because then that already gets Enterprise length. Think about that. That's crazy.
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh my god! It says Season 3 of Lower Decks, yes, coming this summer. Oh my god. We just did Lower Decks! How is it back again? We just finished reviewing it. So recent.
We'll be interviewing Mike and crew for end of Season 3 and still not have our Season 2 out yet.
No, we will, but we won't be out of videos. We'll have so many... It'll come that soon, yeah.
TXR away, £5 or £5. Thank you. Hi, chaps. How do you see Prodigy over here in the UK? Strange New Worlds, I have trepidation about how they will treat Pike and the Enterprise and still hate Discovery.
Oh.
But yeah. So Samuel, I think that first question's for you.
I get sent them, and the key is I don't ask questions.
Dun dun dun.
It's a good solution, I think.
Yeah. Moving on. David Boric, $5. Speaking of future giving, what do you guys think of the talk of a new Stargate series and the rebooting of both Babylon 5 and Battlestar? Jeez, you're right. Oh my god. Well, Samuel probably knows more, can speak more to the Stargate thing. I think it's exciting, but I don't know how it's going to play in, if it's going to be a continuation or a reboot or whatever. But Babylon 5, I'm excited for a reboot of that. And a new Battlestar? We just stopped another new Battlestar. Like, why do we need another Battlestar Galactica already? We're going to hear in a year they're rebooting Orville, for Christ's sakes. Like, stop, guys. Not, it is what it is. It's good. All this sci-fi stuff is good. But they're even talking now, even after the last episode of The Expanse, which was a perfect fucking ending for that series, by the way. hey, we might do another a season. It's like, that's where shows start falling into trouble. And other books continue on like 10 years or so after where we are now. So they have to let the actors age or whatever, but they're thinking of doing it sooner than later. So I don't know what's going on. But yeah, what do you think about the Stargate thing, Samuel?
Well, we've been waiting for it for a long time, and every time they sort of vaguely maybe say it's coming out, feels like smoke trails, because they should have announced something soon after Amazon bought it, and that has been almost a year now, if not about a year. So obviously, pandemic slows stuff down, but they clearly aren't as keen to get jumping into it as we thought they may have been. It's their sleeper franchise, but I'd expect to see something now, even just a teaser. So I'm not overly. I don't think we'll see something for a while, which is sad. But yes, certainly continuation as always. No reboot. You don't need to reboot it. You shouldn't reboot it.
No.
It's like, why would you? Battlestar. I mean, if it's so different, fine. I think a movie would be funner to see than a series in this context, because you could kind of go really sexy effects, really like on location, just kind of tell something really fun, but like not a prequel, not a sequel, just like, there's a ship called a Battlestar, and there's I don't know how you play it, but Expanse I haven't seen, can't speak to that. What was the other thing they said is being rebooted? Babylon 5. Well, that's exciting, because obviously the show itself is such a simple premise if you break it down to the real like top level thing. But the original guy's doing it, so he's basically a second crack at the whip with 20 years more experience, and given that
lessons learned.
Exactly, and he's the reason. I mean, because the first season he only wrote, I believe, 3/4 of the script or a half, and by the end he wrote every single script for at least 2 seasons, because he just wanted full control. So he is the reason that shows what it is. If he's coming back, he'll still be the reason it is good as it is, just be modern, updated, different, but not be the same exact story. So I think that it's not a reboot so much as a second take at the story. So there won't be a character called Sheridan and a character called Jakar. I don't see that likely. It'll be different, but he came up with all original ideas. So yeah, I don't know. It'll be different, and who knows? Well, there are some continuation stuff as well, but we'll see.
The whole time you were talking, there's news in the chat of an Amazon or a series for Lord of the Rings.
I saw the first post for that.
Firefly reboot being announced.
Well, being rumored.
Quantum Leap is coming back apparently,
and that's a continuation.
I hope it's a continuation. It better be.
I think they said it is. I read that as a thing.
Yeah. Well, that would be good. That would make the most sense.
Because if you reboot it, then it's just we'll do the same story again. If you continue it, then you get to add on to the legacy. But Quantum Leap's a really great premise for any show. It's in unlimited period dramas, especially if, unlike Sam Beckett, your character's like 90 at the start.
Yeah.
You got a lot of time you can go. It's like, yes, we're going to use the Queen's DNA. Therefore, you can go 97 years worth of history. Fantastic. We're on the 21-year-old guy. You can only go back to the 90s.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, our subject's 20. You can only go back to 2002 onwards. What a great set of things. No, it's but that's the thing though. We're just not getting new ideas, but we can get really nice in-universe-esque concepts. I don't know. It's a weird one. But then look at Marvel. I mean, they're not. Everything is based on something else. That's the whole thing, is that everything is based on a comic book, which means there's inbuilt lore, logic, and feeding it in. Nothing there's original. In the grand scope. Also, Prodigy is not original. It's a spin-off of a spin-off of a spin-off of a spin-off. Because TOS, TNG was a spin-off, and then Voyager was a spin-off of that, and then a spin-off of that. And...
I wouldn't mind if the new Battlestar Galactica was kind of an animated show. That might be interesting. But
it wouldn't. Yeah, it wouldn't engage me as much though, because I've always seen amazing dogfights. It's like the Star Wars, the samurai anime thing didn't excite me. I haven't even seen those. I'm just like, looks okay. Didn't grab me. But no, I mean, what a set of news. I mean, there's the graphic here of January Prodigy, February Discovery and Prodigy, March Prodigy and Picard, April Picard, May Picard and Stranger Worlds, June all of Stranger Worlds, and apparently 6 weekends in June? Or 6 Sundays? Wow. Oh, and July. Okay, they include July for some reason. That's a typo. My God. And then yes, we'll get Lower Decks and Prodigy in. Because yeah, then you get August, September, October. There'll be October again, in which case, I guess Picard season 3 would come out in October. I'd guess October, November, because Discovery is not ready to go. They haven't started filming yet, so they're not ready to go. Stranger Worlds, doubt
yeah,
it.
because Picard's they went straight into Picard.
So probably Picard again.
A lot of people on the set got COVID though, so they stopped filming.
Yeah, but it's not gonna.
Like 2 weeks ago.
But they can still be editing other stuff, and they're just not going to stop pre or post production, so they can make that time up.
Lots of exciting things, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I was about to say, but it is nice that none of these shows I'm not looking forward to.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is because even the Marvel stuff, there's such a range of don't care, could care, maybe. These are all this. There's something specific in each of these shows. Even the concept of Stranger Worlds, there's something every one of the shows, especially Prodigy's now proven itself, because that was obviously the who knows. Like everything here has value, and we know it has value. It's just they might be able to realize the value properly, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, just a disappointing thing. Damn.
TXR Way puts in £5.
Thank you.
Looking forward to Lower Decks season 3.
Me too.
Samuel, the first rule of watching Prodigy is we don't talk about watching Prodigy. We need new IPs. Stop reboots. Yeah. I'm more likely to tune into something I'm familiar with, name-wise, than I am. Like, that's why I put off The Expanse so long, because I just didn't care. I don't want to learn a new universe, a new world. It's fine, I guess. I mean, once I got into it, it was great. But I'm very hesitant about that. But you slap a name that's recognized on it, I'm more inclined to check it out at least and see what's going on with it. So that's why they do that. But yeah,
I'm trying to think of new IPs because there was a couple of shows in the mid 2000s. There was Dark Matter and Killjoys.
Yeah.
Never saw Killjoys, didn't appeal to me. I liked Dark Matter, but it wasn't great. It was good, but it wasn't like as good as a Stargate or a Firefly or a Star Trek or a Battlestar or like it wasn't as good. But it was good, just didn't quite have that spark. Even though we've taught Joseph Malazzi a few times, he's lovely. Expanse, obviously, I haven't seen, but that's based on a book. But that's the thing, also, just based on books, a lot of these shows, and as you said on a live that I talked to in chat, knowing where you're going and then adding onto the story, keeping on going. So you plan a season of TV and it goes great. Oh no, shit, we got set for season 2. Back from the Dead. Let's undo the plot. Because if you come from a book series, you have 5. You say, oh yeah, I can make this into 5 seasons of TV, and you know it feels big and broad, and that's just a plan. You can kind of go with it. And then obviously you've got the inbuilt fan base, whereas a new IP in full, all problems of good or bad storytelling.
And budget's a big deal, especially for sci-fi. So
well,
I think that's one of the reasons Killjoys and Dark Matter didn't last so great, honestly.
Well, it's like with all the Star Wars shows, because who the hell would think a Boba Fett show be made, etc. But they can reuse Stormtrooper armor and so many things that reused. I've got all this makeup on the desk from all the Trandoshan's. Just make a new one. Like just make up a new guide. It's much easier than it used to be because the more you're using, the more whatever's it becomes easier. Goodness.
Yeah. Sean O'Sullivan, €2. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Back. Way to ruin the franchise, Bakula.
But yeah. But I would like. I mean, Quantum Leap was a really good show, and I really want to get the Blu-ray set, but it's really expensive.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I don't know why it's expensive, but it really is.
Well,
I haven't seen it in a while, but I think it probably even holds up better now than it, because it knows it's a period piece. So for us, it's even more documentary based, in the sense that when they go back to the 50s, for them it was 30, 40 years ago. Now it's 70 years ago, and it's like, wow, but they're trying to be faithful as well. So,
but the Quantum Leap project happens in the year like 2009 or something. So when you do see the present, it's like flashy cars, weird outfits. It's very missed the mark as far as that goes. So anyway.
Yep.
But you don't see that. You don't see the present too often in Quantum Leap. So,
No, it's yeah. I think it's almost always a letdown as well when you do. I think.
And yes, David, you're right. Resident Alien is good. I've only seen like 2 or 3 episodes here and there. I've seen them out of order, but it is fantastic. I need to watch that whole series. Season. I think there's only 1 season so far.
It's also they're more expensive as well, as in just from a production standpoint. Because if you're building, design takes a long time.
Yeah.
Less creative ideas in making something original, and we've seen a lot of things that are a brand new, fresh idea, and we say generic sci-fi. Oh, that looks like this. Having a new idea.
Yeah.
Whereas if you make a Star Trek Federation ship, you've got a very specific avenue to go down, but it will always feel like what it is, at least in enough.
Yeah.
Because it gives you a window to play for.
Samuel, do you have Disney Plus at all? Like
Marie does. Okay.
There's a movie on there I recommend that you watch that I watched the other night. It's called Underwater, and it's really good. I think you'd really enjoy it. So
that tells me nothing
and
about
if you guys. No, it's about an underwater drilling rig in the future at the bottom of the Marianas Trench.
Ooh.
And there's an earthquake and there's like a disaster and
with Kristen Stewart.
Yes, and some weird shenanigans happen. It's really good.
It's a very alien-looking alien from Aliens, but not. Huh.
Yeah. It's a fun watch. I didn't think I was just kind of bored and thought I want to watch a movie and checked it out.
Didn't even know it existed. Huh.
About an hour and 36 minutes long, but it's good. It's good.
Sweet. Yeah. I saved it.
Good man. I hope you enjoyed it. I want to hear your thoughts on it.
Well, so Disney Plus, you say, is it on Blu-ray? Because that's trying to piss me off. I want Mandalorian on Blu-ray. I don't not want it on Blu-ray. I don't want Disney. I want Blu-ray.
Yeah, I have no idea about that. So.
Yes, it is. Okay, let me add that to my wish list so I know that if I like it, I'll get it.
Okay.
Cool.
63 likes. Guys, hit that like button. Another 17 likes at least. Let's go up to 80. Mm-hmm. We have been talking about our topic a little bit as we're talking about reboots and things and how they kind of match up whether with the original or could do continuation. But yeah, so thoughts on the Prodigy thing. Is it the most Trek of modern Trek? My thought is yes. Like I said the other day, it feels to me like it's a very good introduction to somebody who doesn't know a lot about Star Trek. I think that's one of the things where it's aimed at kids. The kids will be like, ooh, I want to watch more of this because this is cool. And they kind of touch on everything. Even just a visual reference to things. So my answer is yes. That's my quick answer.
Well, why does it beat Lower Decks then? Because that literally has everything. Because that's the debate, really.
Well, okay. Well, if you're comparing those two,
no, I'm saying of all the modern Trek, that's the whole point. Does it beat Lower Decks?
I don't think it beats Lower Decks at all. No. Okay. I think they're kind of on par with each other as far as being very Trek-like, and definitely referencing Trek and being canon correct.
Caring about canon.
Yeah.
That's a feature now, Stuart.
I think, yeah, absolutely. But I think speed-wise and just story structure-wise, for somebody that isn't as into Trek as a Trekkie is, I think Prodigy is probably a better show for subtle little Trek references with a really good story structure. Lower Decks is kind of all over the place somewhat, and you really have to know a lot about Star Trek to get a lot of the references, both visual and otherwise. Like, there's still stuff that, even diehard Trekkies are like, that looks really familiar, but I got to look that up. So, I mean...
Well, yeah, and we had that for Lower Deck Prodigy as well recently, because they had one of the holodeck programs. I didn't remember it was called this, and you're like, oh, it's that. It's like, oh, once you say it, but I didn't remember it was that specific holodeck program that we saw once. Why would it be that? Oh, it is because they're clever. Oh, yeah, they're clever.
Yeah. Is it the resort one on Voyager?
But in fact, all of them were. Every single one in the scroll was a thing from the canon, which Oh, sweet. I just want to read up the poll and do a new one as well briefly. I love 91 votes. Vote right now if you want briefly. Are you going to join us for all 25 weeks of new Trek reviews? Yes, we'll be there for every review. 60%? Isn't that heartwarming?
Yes.
That's a lot of reviews.
That warms the cockles of my heart.
It does. 36% some reviews when I can make it, which does make us a total of 97%.
Yes, it's amazing.
That's lovely. 0 still for Picard. For only Picard, though. And 3% for Strange New Worlds. That is,
That's a thing. That happened. All right, he's going to make a new poll, I guess.
Yes.
In the meantime, hit that like button, guys. Another 8 likes. We did get a super chat from TXR Away, who says, or puts in £5, sorry, and says, glad Captain Foley enjoyed The Expanse. There are many books, comics that could be adapted. Example, Larry Niven's Known Space, Stephen Baxter's Zeely stories. Yeah, I'm sure there are lots. But yeah, the Expanse was great, and I'm looking forward. Is it Telltale Games is coming out with an Expanse game, which is about the same time as Star Trek Resurgence is coming out by them as well, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out. I had a struggle with. I can't wait for you to watch The Expanse. I want to talk to you about it. I had a struggle with The Expanse season 1. Like I said, season 1 was eh. Season 2, halfway through, kind of grabbed my interest, got me interested. Season 3 was phenomenally awesome. Season 4 kind of lost me a bit in interest-wise. Season 5 was just kind of back to eh. And then the last season was the one that really grabbed me and pulled me back. I didn't think it would, but yeah. Anyway, there you go.
Well, maybe they thought it's our last, and they announced that very early on, so they thought we're just going to throw everything at the wall because it's our last chance, which is do it.
Yeah.
It's like
the second to last episode, and I'm like, how are they going to end this? Like, Jesus Christ, there's still so much going on.
And then realized the last episode was an hour and a half, and you said, oh, I see what they did there. They got it. They cheeked it out. But it's kind of like with Enterprise Season 4. They said that we'll just do everything. We'll see how it goes. So, this is a poll now. What I'll do is the top 2, although there might not be a competition here if you look at the results so far. The top 2, we'll do the second round of the poll to see who wins because we're splitting the vote right now. But the question is, which Trek show is the most Trek of modern Trek? Prodigy, Lower Decks, Discovery, Picard. Please vote. I want to see 100 votes. And the top 2, we'll put another poll out and allow you to re-vote and see who wins the crowning. Because I'm assuming there'll be more of a split vote, but maybe not. We'll see.
Yeah.
But vote, guys. Vote.
So vote. Let's see. We got Dave who throws in £5. Thank you so much, Dave. Random question. Does the path of United Earth in Discovery Season 4 invalidate the evolution of humanity as exposed by Picard? Are they still bettering themselves?
I have thoughts if you wanna think.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
go ahead, talk.
You're allowed to still better yourself, not in a galactic scope. Only a very small fraction of Earth's population went out into the stars. Most people stayed on Earth and had life on Earth. And so when suddenly they had to leave the Federation just to make Earth survive, most people weren't affected. Except the news they watched. And they continue to be better for their kids and whatever. Maybe they weren't finding new things, but that far in the future they will explored most of the galaxy, and so, or at least a good portion. So it's less about exploration, more about just things. So yeah, I don't hold that against them at all. And you're only seeing the representative military-esque branch. You're seeing a very certain subset. No, I don't hold that against Earth at all. And you can't blame any culture for saying the universe got effed up and we can't visit people. We're going to look after them ourselves. It's like, well, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I kind of agree with everything he said. But going even to the Federation, it almost feels like they're stagnant. I mean, they're 900 years in the future, and their most advanced shit is programmable matter and detached nacelles.
And LCARs look the same on bridge windows.
Yeah, the bridge window LCARs look this. Like, it just seems a little not advanced enough for me. Like, and that's a bit of a problem. So it's almost like they've gone stagnant after all these hundreds of years of, even incorporating other species into the Federation, it just there's been nothing. They didn't even have any other FTL drives, for Christ's sakes.
Well, that's
besides
that.
war.
Yeah, that's the whole thing, isn't it?
That's just stupidity. But yeah, you know what I mean? Though, like even looking at the ships, they don't look super advanced. There's nothing about them that says that they're special. I mean, yeah, we've heard of holographic force fields on the ships and things like that. They've mentioned little things like that, but we don't. It doesn't feel advanced. It feels like maybe 100 years out from TNG. Honestly, some of the technology. So I don't know.
I mean, they shot themselves in the foot with Discovery, because if they'd had just holographic displays on clear plexiglass, that would feel advanced, or holograms at all. You know, just having a communication hologram that can sit down in the crew quarters in Discovery Season 3 would be, oh, wow, a hologram that can interact with real matter. That's amazing. Oh, it was done 900 years ago. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, nothing else to say on that. Vote in the poll, guys. Vote in the poll. I wanna see what you guys think. 'Cause I'm super interested.
How close it is, actually. 58 people have voted. Guys, go vote in the poll. I want to see these results. These are actually really interesting.
And I also want you to talk about the potential rescheduling question for the lives, to have a touch base with the audience, see what they think. There's 94 people. Touch base with them, see what they think. If they're not here, it doesn't help us. So.
Okay. I have something I'd like to put forward. Would you guys be cool with having the lives be an hour earlier during the week, like starting at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4 to 6? Just because that'd be a lot easier for my schedule. Because as it is, Sylvia works all day till 5. She gets off work. I'm just starting a live. We have to do a live till 7. And then I got to make something to eat because I'm past my hungry time usually. And then Sylvia usually goes to bed around 9:30. You know, so I don't get a lot of time with Sylvia because of these lives. But if I can bump them up an hour, so from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, that would be a lot easier, because then it's like the first hour she's usually still working. So it makes things a bit easier. I want your thoughts on that. I asked Samuel. He really didn't give me whether that would work for his schedule or not.
Yeah, it's the chat, isn't it, as well?
But yeah, guys, let me know what you think, if that would work for you guys. And it might not be all the time. We might have some at 5 o'clock. I don't know, but I think something I like to try, because when we've done it at 4 before, it's worked easier for me. So, yeah.
But obviously, these lives are so dependent on the fans being there, because if you don't get super chats, they're not as worth doing. If you don't get the interaction, we don't have as much energy. So 1 hour early, and this would be a permanent change, as in expect them at that time rather than the original normal time, rather than a specialty where they might get swapped back for a special reason, but expect them at that 4 p.m/9 p.m. Now, the advantage of that for me as well is that it's not 12 o'clock at night when I stop, which for a lot of people in the UK, they're already in bed because most people work and go to sleep. So
that's the other thing too, because if we do go a little over 2 hours, which we do sometimes, especially with some episode reviews, it won't be such a hit to my personal time, and especially food wise. Just saying. We can go a little bit longer, and I wouldn't be like, let's go. You know what I mean? So.
And more UK people might be able to turn up because it'd be an hour earlier. But would you guys turn up? And in fact, it's funny you mentioned that, because this is one thing I was going to say as well to you in probably about a year's time when I move out of the house, and say, hey, the other half says she wants to see me at night. Can we please move it an hour earlier because she wants to see me before she goes to sleep? But I thought that was a better time for you slightly, so I was not going to do that until I had to.
No. It's really kind of inconvenient for me. It has been for a long time, but that's okay. Let us know, guys.
So that was going to be a request anyway in about a year.
Yeah, that's cool. It's fine.
So yes, please do let us know, guys, and we'll probably do a poll as well on that just after you vote on this main poll. So I want to see, because it's very much on topic.
Before we get to the responses for that question, Dave puts in £2. Thanks for the answer, guys. Appreciate your takes.
Thanks for the question.
And see, questions help. Super chat questions help lead the conversation.
We want the questions. We want the comments.
All right. So List of Jericho says 9 is fine for me. Earlier would work good for me, says Alan. I'm fine with your schedule changes, says James. Be showed up an hour late. Oh, well, Matthew would miss the first hour kind of thing. A lot of people get off work at 5 too, so they listen to us on their way home from work.
Mm-hmm.
So I prefer 5 because that's when I get off work. Yeah, okay, George. And 5 is better for Casey Stewart too. This might be a poll for the Trekyards group page.
Oh, yeah, for the page, yeah.
Yeah.
That's definitely a bigger sample size. So guys, keep voting in the main poll though, because we want to get at least 85 votes, because this was not the result that was happening earlier on, so we're almost getting neck and neck now, so we'd love to see that.
Yeah.
Keep voting. At least 85. But yeah, so for me, the answer to the question though is, it's interesting, because obviously Lower Decks is more, and as Mike even said, not verbatim, but he said, it's almost as if the people in the show know they're in Star Trek.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so for us watching it, it is literally like living in, being in, feeling in the world. There's so little barrier of entry because we are just living, and you're looking for those moments. And every time there's a new Vulcan ship, it's so well thought out. Even if it's a kit bash, and it is so vivid with reality. But it is, yeah, like you said, more strange. There's things I wouldn't do. There's, well, that's extreme. That's unnecessary. That's too big. Whatever. You need to be take as the style. Whereas Prodigy, it's very much made like a normal cinematic piece. There's very little exaggeration, except in episode 1, the car chase. But that's more of just movies do that. That's just a movie trope. But especially these last 3, they haven't really pushed the absurdity. I guess except the Dahl and the Klingon Bird of Prey, that was obviously played a bit more for absurd. That's the whole point of it. So it's having some of those visual cues. Obviously, Discovery refuses to include old imagery. They want to reboot everything visually. Picard will be yet to see in season 2. Season 1 was lacking for sure. It's like they and this is a quote. So they had sorry, a bit of a tangent, but it annoys me, as you can imagine. So they would design the new tricorder for the pack at the end, and the guy literally had a tricorder from the show on his desk. No batteries, but he could have put a literal tricorder from the show in the show. It was on an old pack. But he looked at it and said, "Nah, it wouldn't hold up to modern TV, so I'd design a new one." And I thought, it absolutely holds up to modern TVs. Absolutely looks amazing still. You barely see it. It would fit into canon, and you have the prop ready to go. So they designed a very big, bulky one that looks less advanced to me than this. Yes, the screen's bigger, but that's not a testament to quality. So they made a less advanced looking one. A new prop was barely seen, where they could have literally thrown in a real prop from the show because it couldn't hold. So it's so disrespectful to the old show's content. Like, well, it just won't hold up. That's not the point.
Well,
that.
Yeah, and that argument doesn't fly regardless. So
because all you have to do for this, right? If you're going to make a version 2, right? All you have to do, make this a touchscreen. And if you want
to
have
it pop up like you can have a 3D hologram pop out of that for see something.
I mean, that's fine. But if they're going to make a version 2, say same prop, just remove these buttons, make this whole thing a touchscreen, or maybe like make this a touchscreen. Like you could do the exact same body and just add a few more screens if you really want to go that way and make it look more advanced. It's a very small prop. It's a very tight, compact, physical prop. It doesn't need much else. Frustrating. Oh, 85 votes, guys. 90 votes for our main poll. 90 votes.
Speaking of 90, we have 90 likes. Hit that like button,
fantastic.
guys. 100 people here. 10 more likes to get to 100. Hit that like button, guys. All right. Yeah. No, I don't have a problem with the new design tricorders and stuff. Like, did you see the concept art for the other ones he designed for it?
No. I'm talking about I said the Picard tricorder.
Oh.
Because that's why I said they had a physical. Okay. They actually had a tricorder on their desk. So they chose to make a new tricorder for Picard, then just use one from the show, even though it's an old one. That's why I was complaining, because he thought it didn't hold up, even though it literally looked amazing. Prodigy is a whole different thing. I'm saying the Picard guy, and they're just not using the visual references they should be, quote unquote, except the com badge. What do you frickin' do? Of course. Whereas Prodigy, they use verbatim a kind of structure, etc. The animated ones are doing that.
Just be thankful they didn't redesign the com badge. This is what it did look like. Trust us. Andy Urich puts in $10. So thank you so much, Andy.
Thank you. That's amazing. Thank you.
interesting that the animated shows feel the most Trek. Perhaps this will change with Strange New Worlds. Yeah. I think Strange New Worlds is going to be weird because it's going to feel more like Trek in the episodic sense and maybe the storytelling aspects. But visually, it's still going to be... The art style is still going to be very similar to what we see in Discovery. So it's still going to feel like disjointed from the time period it's supposed to be set in. But I'm looking forward to it feeling more like Trek. So yeah, hopefully that's, wishful thinking.
Well, and based on things I've heard, very much for me, Andy, Stranger Worlds is a Discovery. Stranger Worlds is a Discovery spin-off. It's not a TOS Prime Canon show. It's a Discovery spin-off. So expect that art design, but modern, their own version. It will not look like Prime. It will not look like whatever. You'll see rebooted aliens like you've always seen Discovery. Because it's a Discovery spin-off. Picard uses some aliens verbatim. The other shows use them perfectly. It's not a let's do a TOS show but modernized. It's a Discovery spin-off with that mindset, with the exact same people. Akiva Goldsman is a Discovery person from that mentality. It'll be like we're watching Discovery Season 1 again to some extent, just better,
Yeah. And Dan is here and says, did we see the new Star Trek 2022 release date?
What, Dan? What?
Yeah, we didn't just spend the last 40 minutes, or the first 40 minutes of this episode talking about it. Yeah, we did see it, Dan. Dave throws in £2. Is Trek Starfleet? Might explain Lower Decks versus Prodigy.
That's a very fair point.
Ooh.
Also, keep voting, guys. 94. Want to get 100.
I think the term Trek here just refers to, well, I thought it did, just visual references and things that definitely fit within use what you have, essentially. And I think, honestly, the question we ask here in this live title is Prodigy the most Trek of modern Trek? I would say no. It is definitely Lower Decks. However, as I kind of made the case for, I think this is very much a great introduction to Trek to people that aren't a huge fan of Trek and don't want to be thrown in with people wearing uniforms and know what's going on. Like, they're learning with the characters about the Federation, about Starfleet, and about the other alien life and stuff. So it's actually a good, surrogate for figuring out about the world and the universe of Star Trek. So, but yeah, I would think Lower Decks is more Star Trek, more Trek, if you really want. So, that being said, the characters in Lower Deck act very much not like characters in Star Trek, kind of with their petty squabbles and their, very anti-Gene Roddenberry with the way they act. So it's a weird question because there's so many different definitions you could slap onto that Trek moniker to validate your point, right? So I don't know. I still think Lower Decks is the answer to the question, but anyway. Marcus says, how weird is it that this new Trek, there's no plan for a current era post-TNG Enterprise-based TV show? Not weird at all. The shows don't have to use the Enterprise. Colin says, well, I think Eaglemoss has concluded Starfleet is Trek. Just look at the new collection, Ships of Starfleet. Yeah, but he was asking in regards to the title, where it's like, it's Prodigy the most Trek of the modern Treks. Because, yeah, Lower Decks definitely focuses on Starfleet, being in Starfleet, being the low end of the totem pole. You see all the procedural stuff, you see all the what you have to do when you're in Starfleet. Prodigy's not that. Prodigy is just kids that find the ship and start learning about the Federation and Star Trek as a whole, stepping out into this bigger galaxy. So yeah, I think that's what the Trek reference was there.
And I just tweeted Micah, congrats.
Oh, I don't. Oh, no, new season.
Not directly, just retweet his announcement because I thought it was really good to say. Yeah, cool. 96 votes, guys. Put in the 100%, 100 votes. And it's a really great question, actually, and that's something that we definitely have. From episode 1 of Prodigy, the lack of Star Trek vibe certainly affected the vibe because it just didn't have, from episode 1, none of the hallmarks of design that you're expecting. You know, we've seen everything from the Starfleet lens. Them as the allegory for Earth, the characters the allegory for us, and then the whole show is an allegory for moving forward, exploring the love of the new, of the fresh, of the universe. So to lose that vibe is so tricky. It pulls into a world of, well, you need at least something of the universe. You know, if you didn't have, like I said, if this Ferengi character was a Bridaxian, a 3-headed tentacle monster, the episode would be way less good. Because it'd just be a character. There might be a great character, but it's like the Lower Decks J.G. Hertzer character who's a baddie with the eye patch. Like, he's never going to be remembered. That character. No offense to anyone, but it was fine. Despite being a bit of screen time, you know, there was nothing there past this because it's just not quite the same. By having a Ferengi, it gives all the depth, and yet you can still have a character of your own choosing, etc. So grounding it in the Star Trek world is important, but by having Prodigy now have a Starfleet ship, you still have that what you need, but the flexibility to kind of go wherever you want, and it's found a good balance there. I wish obviously for more of it, and we'll definitely get more. I'm sure we'll get more. But the Lower Decks is the opposite. They are all Starfleet. Just the tone of stuff we've never seen before. But I do somewhat think the Starfleet aesthetic is needed because the Starfleet is an allegory through us. I don't know if a Andorian bounty hunter show would work. Whether in the Gamma Quadrant.
Talk about a Star Wars feeling show.
Yeah, as I said that, I don't know why I must have been thinking Boba Fett, but you know, it just, well, even Andorian would be pushing it, just some random alien. It just wouldn't, you know. So I think Starfleet is important, but not in a bad way.
Yeah.
Because, you know, Star Wars can be anybody anywhere.
But Starfleet is the best of the best, as we always say. Like, you see the top people in their fields on the best ships.
Mm-hmm.
And Lower Decks has that taste of Starfleet, but the Lower Decks, the lowest rung of the totem pole, you see the silliness and goofiness that might happen with people that are new to the service. They're still the best of the best because they've made it through Starfleet, I guess, but you get a more human aspect from them. Like I said, the characters don't really embody what a Star Trek character would embody, especially conflicts. No, you can't have conflict with other people, which is just stupid beyond stupid. But it's you still see that kind of. It is the worst ship, like the lowest of the ships as well. So even the captain acts like a bit of an idiot sometimes. So does the first officer. So I don't know, just kind of a different aspect of Starfleet that we don't normally see.
But also, we are sort of used to I mean, we saw so many instances on Enterprise D that were just not very good at what they do.
Spilling hot chocolate.
Exactly. Like, they had potential, but even because the people in charge saw potential they need for the future generation, because you don't get to be a Captain Picard without destroying a Ferengi ship and killing all the people.
Or getting stabbed in the heart.
Perfect, thank you, exactly. So, we're seeing, though, the young. We've never seen the young before. Every time we have seen the young, they've been somewhat embarrassing. But they still beat millions of people, in effect, to get a place, because they have the aptitude in them. It's just whatever. And when you get that far into the future, Starfleet is I mean, like, is there an allegory in the modern day without just being military? I mean, no one thinks of these things as being special. Okay, like McDonald's, right? McDonald's has been in our lives for our entire lives. You can just join, like, you can just find a job at McDonald's. You're not going to say, oh, I work at McDonald's. Like, yeah. Because it's such a thing that you do, or you've just a fast food job. So Starfleet is just, well, yeah, my mum, my grandma, great-grandma, they all were in Starfleet. Like, it's everyone's used to it. And so you're not going to get, like, the dreamers might go, but also just people just want a nice life of just working in the stars, Earth's boring. It's it's tricky. But we have 105 votes, Stuart, and the poll is redistributing.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Shall we close out there? Shall we do
Sure.
the next thing? So you want to read it out with a bit of flair?
Yeah. Which Trek show is the most Trek of modern Trek? So 107 of you guys voted on this.
Fantastic.
And the poll results are such. Lower Decks comes in at number 1 with 51%.
Which it wasn't the entire time. That's just happened.
Prodigy is at 38%. Discovery at 6%. And Picard at 5%. So I think that falls in line with my thoughts anyway.
I don't want to close the poll either. I want to keep it for another minute or two. But we've never had that discussion. But isn't that a slight testament to these shows that the margins are so drastic? Because I remember one of the polls that was literally a 4-way tie.
Yeah. And
that is so crowning glory. And I'm kind of surprised Discovery is now where it is. But that shows these shows are just embodying what it means to be Trek by an absolute margin. Wow.
Yeah, it is. It's not shocking. It's kind of what I expected when you threw up the names. Because, names like Discovery and sadly now Picard invoke this dread kind of in a lot of people. So yeah, I don't know.
And I definitely think Picard is a lot of people are going to be turned off from season 2. It's kind of, I've heard that from a lot of people, just, they burn me. I'm not even... Especially, it's how many people's childhood hero is Picard? And to destroy him that thoroughly? And how many sex icon people is Seven of Nine to destroy her character so fully? Like, 2 icons in as in for when they were young, like, 2 icons of Trek, and both damage their characters heavily. At least in Discovery, it's fresh characters. Who cares?
Yeah, that's true, and that's sad because apparently season 2 of Picard's going to be better. So
I think they're doing a reboot like Discovery did.
Yeah.
Fantastic. That's and I will say because the poll was Prodigy almost got there, and Lower Decks got up again. So it's really really interesting to watch that poll.
Mm-hmm.
Right, I'm going to end that poll bit. Thank you for voting, guys. I'm going to do another one, so vote again if you can.
Okay, so David Borich puts in $2. Thanks so much, David. Will Q de-android Picard? That's the question now, isn't it? I wanted, if I had my way, I'd say yes. I could also see him doing it for a minute and then putting him back and saying you need to learn your lesson or something. But yeah, I would like him to just fix that, just retcon that out. But yes, that's my vote. Let's see. Somebody had a good comment earlier. Where is it here? Let's see if I can find it.
And I do think they will. I think that'll absolutely be a thing that they'll do. I'm not really hesitating.
I think it'd be permanent.
Yeah.
I think it's just going to be like okay, good.
No, it would be a season 2 closing gift for Picard. You're human, but then season 4 he gets ill again for something else, or he gets a disease in season 3 because he didn't realize he turned human by Q, and it's like a present, but it turns out to be a curse. And I think it'll be narratively they'll know it was a mistake and they'll undo it instantly. You don't bring God back without utilizing the power of God.
Yeah. Kartsy said earlier the story structure of Prodigy is more Trek, but Lower Decks is more Trek in every other aspect. That's a very good summation, I think. Let's see what's this new poll now. Which is the most Trek of the following shows? Lower Decks, Deep Space Nine, Enterprise, or Voyager?
I just wanted a bit of a radical one there.
Wow. Yeah. That's a great question. Go vote on the poll, guys. 27 votes so far. We have 104 people here. Hit that like button if you haven't. Vote on the poll, and we want to get these results. The results are actually pretty interesting so far. So,
because I think that's got to be a hard one.
Yeah.
I mean, do you have any thoughts on this poll then? The most Trek vibe, classic Trek vibe.
Well, I love how you picked DS9 and Enterprise because DS9 is like the darker, not exploring, not out in a ship. It's like the frontier thing, which was different to begin with. And Enterprise as well, because my thoughts on Enterprise when it first came out and how it was kind of retconning the history of the future.
I mean, that stuff wasn't canon, as you know, so it wasn't a retcon, it was exploring in canon. It
So
still wasn't
it was
canon.
for all of us.
Just was
Doesn't matter.
I know, but words are important. Technicalities there. But it's interesting because if I'd put TNG here, it would have been a slam dunk.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
And
Like
you can't put
TOS.
TOS because then it's obviously TOS.
And Voyager gets so much hate as being one of the worst of the original shows, and it's like, I don't know why. I love Voyager, but so that was interesting. Yeah.
And in fact, the cast person I was talking to today was like, I really love Voyager, and we bonded for a minute. It's like, yeah, because the sci-fi-ness, the space-ness, the exploration, the characters, like you like all the characters, they're all nice, and you want to. I know like Blana, but this is really, I'm really interested by this poll actually, because Lower Decks slam dunked the last one. Guys, vote in the poll, because last time the vote changed the results, so your vote can change. 54 votes, so there's a slam dunk winner here. That's super interesting, guys. Please vote.
Laughable Larry throws in $5. Hope Linda Park is okay. Oh, she's fine. Asshole.
Is there a reference to something?
Last night's live, or is it maybe an earlier one? Somebody said they were talking about a reunion of the cast or Enterprise or something, but Hoshi's dead. It's like, I'm like, Linda Park is not dead, and everybody's like, what? She's dead? What? And yeah, he got it mixed up. He was thinking Anton Yelchin. Like, how the fuck you get Chekhov and Hoshi mixed up? Like, seriously. Anyway, it was a whole big thing. Because I'm like, finding out like that's an actor passed away. You're like, what?
That is quite a thing.
And somebody earlier in this chat too said that the actor who played Book passed away, and I'm like, I must be referring to that as well. Because...
Firefly Book died.
Oh.
Cleveland Book. No, that is not that guy. I think that
was
Book.
Okay. Because
what's his name?
I don't
Book?
know. Anyway, Dave throws in £2.
Thank you.
Trial never ends. No content. Dun dun.
Although you say that, but that's only contact that's been talked about to Starfleet. How many things did Picard not mention? I mean, do you really think Janeway's going to put in a personal log and then he appeared in my bath? I don't know if that would be in her log. It might be, might not be. So I can see I that is not remotely saying. It's just saying, it's just unfortunately tying the hands of Trek, saying we can't have like the Q War of 2482, where Q's dominant. Q's came in and did bad things. Like, you sort of fucked yourself there. Although obviously, Discovery's one future, because if you can't have a set future, otherwise like Endgame can't happen, because you can't. Because if Discovery is the future, there can never be a time travel changing story ever in Trek again. Because they've now formed the future, which sort of takes away all those 600 years of storytelling. Especially the Temple Cold War is about changing time. You know?
Yeah. Going back to the Linda Park thing for a second, what we're talking about initially with that was to do an animated continuation of Enterprise, to do the Romulan War with all of them coming back as voice actors. So yeah,
sure. I mean, they should be in. I mean, they should be in Lower Decks at some point. Why wouldn't they
be? Yeah.
I mean, holodecks are magic.
Prodigy now. They can be in Prodigy now with the holodecks. We've got Dr. Crusher back. So.
I don't know why they haven't been. I mean, Enterprise is more liked than it was at the time. So, I don't know why you wouldn't bring them back. Although, since a lot of those characters aren't as distinct, it's like, what would you have Travis do if you brought him back?
Maybe actually build on his character and have him do something.
Yeah, no.
Anything is better than nothing.
Actually, wouldn't that be hilarious if Lower Decks is just films the season finale of Enterprise again? Like, it's a Lower Decks character, also as chef, also do the exact same episode, and they get new voice lines. It's like, yeah, we're doing it again. We're doing these are the Voyagers 2. And it's just, but they undo Trip's death, and they do like one more scene after the finale and say he's actually a spy death. It's just like, oh, we retconned it because Riker didn't play chapter 6 of the story. Yeah. What? Because they made fun of that already with Riker, and because they did, in the Lower Deck season 1 he does come from the NX-01. It's kind of one of the gags, which is really silly. Just, I don't know why I would, but you know, they would have made fun of it once. Dear me.
Matthew DeFritis says Enterprise literally birthed the Federation. What's more Star Trek than that? Everything that came before it. If you're talking chronologically, nothing, I guess. But if you're talking show-wise, everything is more Trek.
But also, it birthed the Federation, and it wasn't the Federation yet. Which means it was pre the ideals. It was pre what made Star Trek, give or take.
Yeah.
But also, it just failed to live up to the promise as well.
Dave throws in £2. Can you name all Enterprise bridge crew?
Yes.
Discovery. Yes.
No. I mean, I don't remember the black guy's name. Reese is the Asian guy.
Bryce is the black guy. There's Lieutenant Nielsen, blonde.
We had Arium, and then she died.
Big bughead boy.
Oh yeah, obviously they aren't even characters. They're just
Washington Detner.
Random other black guy that appeared when another black guy left.
Yeah, they're trying to push him.
He was very good vibe. He felt like a kid, but I was so clearly from the future. God, imagine him having to work like being assigned on an old ship with consoles that are literally 900 years. This is literally stuff that you saw in grade school, and you're operating it like a serious officer. How annoyed must you be? Like one of us gonna go work on a steamship, and everything's brass
with the most advanced drive ever.
Yeah.
Wow.
Seriously. Yeah, I'm wearing a modern
Air Force. I don't know if I'm
Force.
honored or insulted. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I'm wearing a modern Air Force camo, and I'm on a 1912 battleship with steam power. And I'm being told to pull levers to let more steam in.
That can travel. And the ship can also travel anywhere on the.
God. Oi.
Oliver Lavery Frog throws in £5.
Thank you.
Unpopular opinion alert. I like the Enterprise finale. Am I now banned from the channel? No, you're not. I liked it as an sorry, don't mean to interrupt you.
No, I didn't
I
start.
liked it as an idea, but it should have been a mid-season episode, not a finale. As a finale, it didn't work for me. So there you go.
Oliver, tell us why. That's more important than saying what the theory is. I've never thought that before, but actually, yeah, if that was the mid-season, season 3 two-parter, with double the budget, to like rebuild maybe the view screen of the Enterprise D in one console. Like, could you imagine like cutting to Riker in front of the view screen again, and then a corridor 10 forward maybe? Did they do 10 forward? Yeah, they did. Like you can imagine double the budget like Intimate Darkly. That would be even cooler. And then, God, imagine if they did Enterprise, TOS, and TNG like properly two-parters in season 4. That'd be hell of ambitious, and getting them both back and then you'd have like Archer on, because I would want to see like Archer on the holodeck with like vice versa. Like we often saw Data talk to people from the past. Have Archer actually talk to Riker, knowing who he is, like they would in TNG. Have the reverse perspective outlook. Do it as a two-parter. Have some meaningful stuff, and allow them as a TNG crew to like have Archer like cut to season 6 Enterprise, like cut to stuff we haven't seen yet, which they did obviously, but like do it throughout, so you can like jump to future events without having to actually show them. That's how I would do that and make it a really cool two-parter.
Yeah, absolutely. But as a finale, no. Like, a season finale, maybe. A series finale, absolutely not.
Oh.
It was very mishandled.
I mean, even Intimate Darkly is a better series finale, because it feels like going on a big bang.
Yeah. Casual Trekker, $5. TNG question: Did the sea just normal flow of time going ahead to the D because it was started there, or did Picard create what we know of TNG? Let's see. Temporal mechanics. Which came first? The intrusion of the Enterprise C into the other parallel future, or?
Well, no, the C came first, because the C travelled into an alternate future. It didn't travel into the future; it travelled into an alternate future. It was then sent back And the only reason it survived is because it got the enhanced and the repairs. The only reason it was such an impressive ship is because it was repaired mid-battle. And because it did more damage, it was known for being a legacy ship. So no, there's no, you know.
Yeah, the only reason I went to an alternate future is because the future didn't exist because the Enterprise C didn't get destroyed; it disappeared.
Yeah.
So it's its own.
Yeah, it's actually a very straight timeline because of the old. If it went to the actual future, that'd be harder. But because it made an alternate future, you know.
So in answer to your question, no, Picard did not create what we know of TNG. He restored it. He restored it to what it should be. Without.
Yeah, alternate Picard did.
Yes. Alternate Picard did, but what we, if the Enterprise hadn't have, we saw what happened, and it was different. So, I hate temporal mechanics.
But also, like I said, Oliver, put up in that. We actually want to know why you think the season 5 is good. Not to say it isn't an okay episode, but let us know, Oliver. Ask your type a really cool response and sort of, you know, waiting. But put in there.
Oh, there it is. He says, I understand what you mean about the series finale. However, at that point, I was just waiting. Oh, wow. Oof. I like the sense of legacy, and I felt through the episode and what the signing of the charter meant for the future and the past.
Well, the last scene's lovely. Like, the last scene.
Scene's great. Well, the Archer scene. With him, you know, signing the Federation Declaration, but
see, even if the episode was different, the last scene was the last scene, and then we also got Riker and Troy appear out of nowhere just for that last scene, enter a holodeck, which makes the whole season a retcon in a sense. That would still add something to say it's such a big moment that our heroes from the future came to see it. That would still be fine for me. Like, just literally that one scene, they just come in for the day and shoot that. Would still be like, this is the moment. It's so powerful that people from the future. Although, in that case, I'd have Patrick come back as well. I would have, like, Patrick, Riker, and Troy all sitting in the audience in Enterprise costume watching it. After, like, give Archer his full speech, pan across, then we see the Woolen thing. They have their own discussion. They ununiform into the normal uniform. They walk off, and then you see the legacy bit. I would have done that if I was doing it. Because then you'd feel like the most popular Trek with the newest Trek. Tricky. Yeah.
Casual Trekker, $5. Normal flow, I mean, like cause and effect with the Bozeman. The Picard sending it back to the 2340s made our timeline as we follow it going forward.
And once it happens once, it has to happen every time.
Yes.
So the poll, 80 votes. I'd love to get to 100 again because I really, really want to know this. I'm super intrigued by the results. So, which is the most Trek feeling of the following shows? Lower Decks, Deep Space Nine, Enterprise, and Voyager. Because it isn't just a case of who wins; it's a case of who comes second and third. Although it doesn't really work if everyone's voting for the same one. But you know what I mean. Vote for who you genuinely think. Let's get 100 votes, and we still need another $60 in super chats. But we're doing quite well. So 60, and we are good. We've got half an hour more. So throwing a few fives would be very much appreciated. But
I'm hit likes.
Oh, yes.
I get 130, so 15 more likes at least.
But it's definitely. And well, actually, one more thing to mention as well, that we've now lived through multiple seasons of all the other shows. Which of the shows do you think, on a weekly basis, I'm also asking which season of those shows I'm most excited for watching? Because I think I've been most excited for Prodigy now. Like, where are they going? Because I'm intrigued. I felt Lower Decks is a comfy blanket, but Prodigy is such that I'm like, ooh, what happens next week? I really want to know. Like, genuinely, because it could go so many ways. Out of all the different seasons, which do you think have you been the most like, I can't wait for next week?
I would probably have to agree with your assessment about Prodigy, honestly.
Which is impressive. That's a testament to the show, seriously.
Yeah. I mean, I always look forward to any new episode of Trek, any series, doesn't really matter. because who knows what it could hold. It could have something really good. But yeah, Prodigy, just the story. I mean, I think after we've seen season 1 or season 2 or up to season 4 of Prodigy, we'll look back at season 1 and go, if only we could watch this again for the first time. So we got to enjoy this while we're in it, because we're going to get an interesting reveal about the Prodigy, why the timeline is all weird as far as the search for it goes, or for the protostar. I mean, so yeah, honestly, right now it is Prodigy. Picard didn't really keep me that interested. It was just like, how are they going to fuck up next week? Discovery was like, ooh, I'm looking forward to seeing more Lorca, or more, Stamets, or more Tilly. That's about it. The story was kind of Yeah, I don't know. I think Prodigy is the most exciting one for sure. It's the most out of the box show, actually, because it's not Starfleet and there's so much other stuff going on. So,
but it's also evolving into more Trek as well, which is so important, and we can see the avenue of progression. Keep voting the poll, guys. 90 or 86, at least 91 we should get, or 90. Come on, guys, vote.
SPS Guru 2010 euros.
Thank you.
Voyager was more Trek-like because it was trekking through the Delta Quadrant, meeting new people, but DS9 was more Trek because it was better at storytelling. So my vote goes to DS9. That's where the storytelling branch split, though. That's where we had the serialized storytelling of DS9 starting. That was the first Star Trek that had serialized storytelling, honestly. Before that, we had TOS, we had TNG, and then Voyager still kept that episodic vibe and format going. So you could argue that the episodic nature of TOS and TNG is more Star Trek in feel as a viewer. So yeah, unfortunately, DS9 is kind of where that split happened, and that became the more serialized. Sure, they kept it episodic in a lot of ways, but there's also 3-4 episode arcs in that show. And they did it really well. Some of these new shows, like Discovery, don't quite do it as well. That's all I'll say. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's tricky because part of Trek is the allegory, is the learning about things, and you'd often have in late DS9 just an episode where people are talking to each other while you see Cardassians talking about the war, and
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of it. I mean, that's obviously deep in the Dominion War storyline stuff, but yes, you might get overall season morality stuff and some interesting character stuff, but you're not exploring, you're not developing, you're not, I like going to planets, I like seeing things, I like, trekking, whereas just fighting a big war and, it's a character story, not a Star Trek story. It's a Star Trek story forced to be still, and therefore the characters take precedence. Whereas Voyager is a Star Trek story through and through that has so much forward momentum that the characters get left behind because it's going forward so much. Enterprise goes so slow they can have character moments, but it's going so slow the stories aren't quite as on gear. And Discovery is season 1 was so fast that you didn't even know where it was going. Boy, that analogy worked so well. I'm so happy with that. God damn, that was good.
And Dave Knight says, remember, it's a hollow novel. Historical facts are okay, but everything else was entertainment for the crew. No, it was not a hollow novel. It was a recreation based on historical events that Riker put together. It was not a hollow novel for entertainment.
Yeah, it was very specific. Because then Troy's like, you should go be the character of the cook, because he talks to people. There's no simulation there, it's just the records show people talk to him. Yeah, and then he skipped the times they talk to him. Yeah, hollow novels are very different. It's a scenario, a recreation scenario, yeah. Oh, 87 votes, guys.
Colin
90.
Barrett.
Come on, 90 votes.
Colin Barrett, does anyone remember when we used to be explorers? Where have I heard that lately?
It was apt then, it's apt now. But I guess I'm pretty proud of this poll, because Voyager likes to get shit on a bit. And it's winning this hands down, and I'm quite pleased.
Yeah, absolutely.
But boy, if Voyager was made just 10 years later, it was ahead of its time concept-wise, it just couldn't quite execute it in the way it was. 10 years later in a totally different show. Same cast, same age as the cast, just totally different.
Oliver continues to say the format holodeck didn't bother me so much. I know it bothered a lot of people when I saw it from the start. It set up those thoughts about the legacy from the very beginning. It was just a slap in the face to the characters and the actors of the show that had been doing it for 4 years. That's their finale. It was based on another show that came before them.
Yeah, it's not it being a holodeck. It's the fact the last season of Enterprise is actually a TNG episode.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's not an Enterprise episode.
It's actually it's like a footnote of a TNG episode.
Yes. Yeah, it's not an Enterprise episode. That's the entire point. It's a TNG episode. He's in it enough, and it does add something to Pegasus. Fine, but yeah, it's the end scene is fantastic and the reveal's great, but it pulls too much away, and we don't want Trip to die. No one wanted that. The aliens are generic as hell. The who'd killed thing. You don't get any new sets or locations really. It's all very generic, cheap looking because they just don't. Well, they put the money into the new TNG sets. That's what happened. So it feels low key. There's no space shots at all, except at the end. So there's no sense of space and ship, and because it should have been in a refit. It wasn't really going to be a refit, but it could have been the refit or a refit. Didn't get any of that. And at the end we get beautiful stuff, but there's so little in that. You can tell they ran out of money and spent all their budget on getting frakes and just doing the TNG stuff. Costs all of the money. Everything else is a bottle show.
Yeah. It
feels cheap and silly because it's a bit cheap and silly, except for the stuff that's expensive.
Yeah.
And Brent has uncelebrated cameo because that's new Brent dialogue. Data's back too, but no one talks about
it. Yeah. That's just sad as a series finale. Mm-hmm. Sorry. Focus your money on your show.
And it's just the worst thing because Intermediate Darky was phenomenal. It's on the best of all Trek.
Yeah.
And then we get the dip down.
Well, guys, throw in some super chats, a couple 5s, 10s here and there. We want to hear your thoughts. But yeah, another 8 more likes to get to 130. So 91 people here. That should be very doable. I just know what you're thinking, guys.
And only $45 in super chats. We're right there as well. Please do, please do. 92 votes. Oh, so close. Yeah, I can end that thing to one more poll. But so it says, what is the most Trek of the following shows? It's 3 legacy and 1 new one, and the reigning champ of last poll is now the weakest at 14%, despite being fully referenced for everything else. So that does show to the audience, even though it's cram-packed of every other show, that doesn't make it a better show, which is true and really reflected there. Second is Enterprise, and I'm kind of surprised Low Decks doesn't beat Enterprise, I'll be honest, because Low Decks has a lot more fun to it. DS9 comes in third at 26%. But reigning champ is a Voyager at 44, which I absolutely agree with. For all of the things people say, it's just TNG again, but with more advanced technology, as in production and whatever. Cool. Okay.
We'll do the poll asking about our start times, maybe.
Yes. Good plan.
To close out, yeah. Yeah, like you said, another $45, guys. Couple 5s, couple 10s would be great. I forget there's a last super chat slot all the time. That's because Guru has it right now. So do you want to scoop it? You could go for it. But no, I think as far as the question of the is Prodigy the most Trek of modern Trek, I would have to say that Lower Decks I think beats it out ever so slightly. It's proving itself. We got to keep in mind we're only 7 episodes into this 20 episode season. Wow. So it's hard to say, but the references have been great. They've been they take time. They make sure things are accurate the way they should be. Very few mistakes, very few redesigns, if any. And I think we're going to get a bigger picture as to what things that might not fit, such as the transporter effect, let's say, or Chakotay's uniform. We're going to get answers to those questions during the course of this. So, but Lower Decks has so many Easter eggs, so many great references. It's a very tongue-in-cheek show, and it's definitely for the diehard Trekkie. I recognize that reference, or I understood that reference, or I see what you got back there on the back shelf. So I think Lower Decks wins out just for that. So But I could be wrong. That's where you guys jump in and tell me that I'm wrong. Oliver, Lavery Farag throws in £5. Popular opinion alert. I really like Voyager. Well, there you go. Thank you, Oliver. Darth Thor says totally random, but do you guys plan to do Orville episodes for the new season? Well, we got so much NuTrek going on, probably not. That's something we'll watch and we might review in the summer when we have a chance, in like batches of like 4 or 5 episodes maybe, or just do the whole season as a whole.
It's so tricky because first season went great, second season you guys didn't show up, and if you didn't show up, we can't do them. Trek Culture had to stop their show because people didn't show up. That's pure reality of YouTubing. But I'm sure we'll try at least the first 2 and see. But we never do sub content because it's just not. You can't do a deep breakdown on ship design if there's no ships in the past. So there's nothing to compare to really. So those things aren't really worth doing as much. But we'll see. But yeah, probably like 3 in a row, maybe 4 in a row, whatever. Although they're going to be longer episodes, there might be more oomph to them because of
so a few mini movies, yeah.
Yeah, and if they're only going to get one more season, then maybe it'll be worth. But we'll see. I mean, if the first one's really freaking amazing, if they're so good, like everyone loves them, then maybe. But I mean, that's the thing. If you guys all come, hey, we'll do them. If we can still make our minimum, that's worth it to us. But tricky balance. So our new poll, Stuart, read it out. There's a lot of words here because I try and fit as much in as possible.
If Trekyards lives were moved 1 hour earlier, 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
What? Yeah. Well, okay. Fuck it. Yeah. Boo.
What? I'm so confused.
I know. It's fine.
Oh, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. UK. Can you still make it? Yes, I'll be there an hour earlier. Sorry, I won't be able to make it. I will be there just 1 hour late. Please don't move. I love 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Those 4 to 11s would fucking kill me, dude. I'm just fucking telling you right now. I'm not doing a live 4 to 11.
Every Thursday to review. We'll just do all of our filming live and edit them afterwards. We'll just do all of it live.
This is not happening. We're going to analyze every cell of footage there is.
Every single frame discussed on Trekyards. Until we go through the frames. Oh my goodness. That's scary, isn't it?
So go vote on the poll. We want to know about the scheduling thing, if an hour earlier is going to make a huge difference or not. But Slider throws in €2. Probably your most interesting live in a while.
Oh, thank you.
Thumbs up and a clap, so thank you so much.
Thank you.
I don't know whether to feel honored or insulted. But thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. SVS Guru 2000, €5. Thank you. Would Prodigy and Lower Decks generally be better if they switched to all 2-parters at the current episode length?
Ooh.
It's that waiting a week to find out what happens, though. I mean, everything's better with more time. Let's be fair. But the wait between is brutal that way. I'm going to say no.
Yeah, in my opinion, it would then get only 5 stories a year. It's not really episodic then, is it? It's 5 stories.
Yeah.
That's not part of the fun, is the developing narrative. And Lower Decks, they both genuinely do a lot in the short amount of time. They cram more than Discovery does in under half as much time.
Yeah.
So I mean, if they gave us 20 episodes and 2-parters, but they're just getting 10 normal length episodes, so it would be redundant. Although Prodigy is getting 20, so I mean, hey, in essence they are doing it, they're just single-parters. So I'm
And Slider says, no offense, the other lives are also cool. This one is gold. Love it. Thank you. Appreciate it.
We've done a lot of topics. Obviously, the more lives we do, the more topics we've gone into, the less we now have fresh to talk about, because we've done a lot of these deep conversation topics. Because how many years have we been doing lives? A lot of years. Which I love. It's great. Awesome sauce. Yeah.
And Dave's like, unpopular opinion, Voyager doesn't deserve as much reference as it gets. Oh. Disagree. Oh, Sam was going to kill. Oh, he's mad now. Oh, yeah. He's okay. Yeah. Make it set it for Dave.
Hold on.
Okay, there. That's it. Yeah, it's set for Dave now. Yes, good. Oh, that's overload. That's not good.
Oh, no, you're right. Okay, just maximum.
There you
go. Ooh. You can literally see the pixels of the...
Yeah.
Oh, there's money hero phaser, by the way, guys, for my Trek Shorts project.
Nice. Dave's dead now. Dave's dead now. He can't enjoy
Wait,
it.
Dave's dead?
Yeah. Dave's not here, man.
Oh, no, everyone's dead, Dave, so it's the other way around. Everyone's dead, Dave. Everyone is dead. Everyone's dead, Dave. Guys, vote in the poll! We want to know. We know 100 people here roughly to vote. Vote. Oh, we're $25 away, guys. So close. So close.
Yes, $25. A couple fives would be awesome right now.
And then tomorrow, it's Wednesday, so it's Boba Fett?
Yes.
Boba Fett. Predictions. We may do a live, depending... Oh, we might do a top 10. I think we had a top 10 and just didn't do it yet. Might do a top 10, which we enjoyed doing. And then we're going to attempt to get Trek Culture Show next week, because planning. But I'm really excited for the Prodigy next week.
Prodigy.
This week, I mean.
Yes, this week. I think I'll be more focused on the Chakotay story this week. I think it's going to be one of those things where it's going to kind of hand off, like, and then the following week might be more focused on something else with a little bit of the Chakotay reveal, but I think this week's going to be more Chakotay based. Hopefully. Sabraxis says, hello there, El Capitan and Kami Kaken. What? Greetings from British London. How's your hanging? Oh, hanging good, I guess. But you're a commie, apparently, Samuel.
Oh my god. Immigrate.
And don't forget to go vote on the poll, guys. 55 votes so far. But just asking if we should start the lives or if we're allowed to start the lives an hour earlier, would be better for.
This is an important thing for us.
Most people involved, yeah. A few people have said earlier on to just do what's best for you guys. Wow. So.
Yeah. But I mean,
money is best for us.
Wow.
So if people don't show up, let's be fair.
Yeah, if we lose half our audience, then we can't keep going. So.
Yeah.
But we're excited.
We are. You are too. Everyone is. Yay. I don't know, man. That schedule. They're really taking the window to the sales of Discovery with the last 3 episodes being on the same day or time as Picard, really.
I mean, they have so much they can afford just whoop. Yeah, no, it's very strange. And but you wonder which will be better, because we kind of then can directly say, well, is Discovery or Picard better this week?
Well, maybe that's the goal, because they know what people will be watching. They notice that people are kind of liking the season of Discovery, so like people are kind of watching reviews and stuff. So if we put on the first couple episodes of Picard at the same time, it might get mentioned, and people realize how good season 2 is now compared to season 1. So all the ones that tuned out in season 1 might go, hey, might give Picard a chance. So maybe that's what they're doing.
That's certainly an idea. You can just see John Van Sitters and CBS desk being like, what he said.
SBS Guru 2000 throws in 25 euros. So thank you so much.
Yeah, awesome. Amazing.
You have a lot of super chats a lot right now, so thank you. What's your experience with Eaglemoss models? I bought 2, a big Connie and a small Defiant. I noticed sizable gaps between parts, and the painted on windows often are considerably offset from where they should be. They're very hit and miss. Some are very amazing models. Other ones are pretty eh. Samuel has them all as well. I've done reviews on a lot of them, so I would say go back and there's a whole playlist of Eaglemoss reviews on here. But check out or have Samuel answer this because he gets them all too, and he's very picky with ship stuff because I know him.
I mean, so are you.
I am.
Obviously, you're miniature man more than I am. I just happen to have more of them.
Yeah.
I'll 3D pick. Yeah, so very much so that it's not so much the quality of the models is what you're looking for. It's the fact that they have done any ship you could ever want, give or take. It's the joy of having a ship design that you like, done in pretty good quality to amazing quality on your desk physically. You're not buying... There are always better ones you could get, but you can't get a Creme Time Trooper. You can't get this in any other form. Or too small to care. Exactly. The windows have always been misaligned, always, from Model 1. I mean, they just can't do it because they're not...
Sometimes they're not as bad.
Sure.
Sometimes they're better.
But that's been a flaw for 6 years, how long they've been going, because they're not really hand painted. I mean, it's machine printed. They've never got them aligned. So just I guess be too much. I guess the work required is just undoable, etc. Even the XLs aren't aligned. It's just something I guess can't be done because they've had half a decade to improve. But like I said, now Stargate, the Orville, Battlestar. I mean, they're the definitive article, and they do if they're going in stock, they do send replacements when asked. They're very good at that. I've only had out of probably, let's be honest, 300 miniatures. And let's not call an XL a miniature, really. They're big. 5 damaged ones. So the battling average
very few
is extremely high. Like I said, just don't expect top quality, and some of the ones are really impressive. Like I just got the XL Romulan Deredex, beautiful. The weight's fantastic. It looks fantastic. That's worth it. And you get other ones that aren't as impressive. Obviously, the Connie is awful XL, or the refit, sorry, because it just failed. It just failed as in the mold, etc.
Yeah.
But yeah, support them. Buy stuff and. Just don't expect A-star because you're not paying A-star prices, or at least you weren't when I started the collection. They're now more expensive now, but
I'd say 85% of what you're going to get from that will be great. You get the odd little thing that annoys you, or a piece missing, or not necessarily missing, but like they're missing an impulse engine on the Enterprise C.
Well, that's
a modeling issue, but.
And they also don't have a habit of fixing their 3D issues because they use models from the past. So like XLs sometimes have the exact same detail flaws because they're just like, we'll just make a bigger version of the same thing. So they cut a lot of corners, but they're trying to deliver at a good price. Because obviously you can buy high quality. I mean, I buy enough high quality props to know the difference between a shitty one and a good one. It's like I could buy a 3D printed phaser for 1/10 the cost, but it wouldn't be as good.
Yeah.
I would consider Eaglemoss a happily B+ company with plenty of A models.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would agree. Check out the playlist, the reviews. They get to show off the models and
they're great.
Yeah.
I really like Stuart's reviews.
Trout Bum Wombat puts in $5. Thanks for the wives. Thank you so much.
Thank you
for the super chat. And Dave throws in £2. Picard season 1 destroyed my faith. I may hate watch it. Well, apparently they're going to be making some corrections for season 2, so let's just look into it. Nothing like a good hate watch.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, on that note, I think we will call it quits for today. Thank you for joining us. Tune in tomorrow. We'll probably do a top 10 tomorrow, I think. Which we're not going to tell you what it is because we might change our minds. But anyway, just keep an eye out for it. And until then, until next time, he is Commander Coggins.
He is Captain Foley.
I am. And we will